Now let us offer our respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are just like desired trees, can fulfill the desires of everyone, and who are full of compassion for the fallen condition.
Would you be able to grab a cup of water? I don't see any cups up here. Just when you have a chance. Please. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Rajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Raja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Raja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Goloka Nanda, Radha Goloka Nanda, Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Goranitai, 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 Jaya Goranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. And Jaya Guru Dev, Guru Dev, Guru Dev, Jaya Jaya Guru Dev. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Stotar Shata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Stotar Shata Sri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki. Sri Mayapur Dham Ki. Sri Mathur Dham Ki. Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki. Sri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki. Ganga Mai Ki. Yamuna Mai Ki. Bhakti Devi Ki. Tulasi Devi Ki. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Harinam Sankirtan Ki, Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Naranam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nastapraya Sabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavadutam Ashloke Bhaktir Bhavadi Naishtaki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we are continuing in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 72, and we will begin with text 22. Shri Shuka Uvacha Swarar Akritibishtamstu Prakostar Jahatar Api Rajanya Bandun Vigyanya Drishta Purvan Achintayat Shri Shukuvacha Swarar Akritibishtamstu Prakostar Jahatar Api Rajanya Bandun Vigyaya Drishta Purvan Achintayat Shri Shuka Uvacha Swarar Akritibishtamstu Prakostar Jahatar Api Rajanya Bandun Vigyaya Drishta Purvana Chintayat Shri Shukavacha Prakostar Shri Shuka Uvacha Drishta Purvana Chintayat. Word for word meanings. Shri Shuka Uvacha Shukadev Goswami said, Swarai, by their voices, Akritabihi, their bodily statures, Tan, them, Tu, however, Prakoshtai, by seeing their forearms, Ja, by bowstrings, Hatai, imprinted, Api, even, Rajanya, of royalty, Bandun as family members. Vigyaya, recognizing. Drishta, seen. Purvan, previously. Achintayat, he considered. Translation. Shukadev Goswami said, from the sound of their voices, their physical stature, and the marks of bowstrings on their forearms, Jarasandha could tell that his guests were of the royal order. He began to think he had seen them somewhere before. Please repeat. Shukadev Goswami said, from the sound of their voices, their physical stature, and the marks of bowstrings on their forearms, Jarasandha could tell that his guests were of the royal order. He began to think he had seen them somewhere before. Purport by the servants of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. The Acharyas point out that Jarasandha had seen Lord Krishna, Bhimasena, and Arjuna at Draupadi's Swayamvara ceremony. Since they had come begging in the guise of brahmanas, Jarasandha thought they must be low-class kshatriyas, as indicated here by the word Rajanya Bandhun. And I'm going to go on to read the commentaries by the Acharyas. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, by the calluses on the forearms caused by drawing the bowstring, Jahatar, as well as their deep voices and strong stature, he recognized them as kshatriyas, or rather low-class kshatriyas, since they were begging in disguise as brahmanas, who he had seen before at the Swayamvara of Draupadi. And Jiva Goswami writes, their voices were deep. They tried to perfect their disguise, but hiding their physical features was beyond their control. Their bodies were beautiful, strong, muscular, and erect. As he heard the voice, then saw their forms, and then saw the bow marks, successively Jarasandha became more and more convinced that they were not brahmanas. He saw them as fallen kshatriyas since they were disguising themselves as brahmanas and begging. This is explained later. I'm just going to go on to text 23 because it kind of ties into this verse. You can try and read along if you'd like. Rajanya bandavo hyete brahma lingani bibrati dadani bhikshitam tebya atmanam apidasyajam. Translation. Jarasandha thought, these are surely members of the royal order dressed as brahmanas, but still I must grant their request for charity, even if they beg me for my own body. Purport. Here Jarasandha reveals his strong commitment to charity, especially when begged by brahmanas. And Jiva Goswami writes, he thought as follows. Another version has Rajanya Bandhavo P and Dadami instead of Dadani. Even I should give them my body if they ask. Omagana Timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Umilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovishnam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadanti Kam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapati Kamalam Shri Guru and Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragana Tampitam Tam Sajivam Sadhuitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Cha Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Dina Bando Jagapate Gopesha Gopikanta Radhakanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavani Shri Rishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Panchakalpatruvishcha Kripa Sindhu Behavicha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasad Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today I'm your host, Santosh Das. Thank you for joining me. And please say a prayer that I can say something in glorification of the Lord, His devotees, the Srimad Bhagavatam, and pray that I have something intelligent to say. Thank you. So I'm just going to read the verses again. Sukadeva Goswami said, "From the sound of their voices, their physical stature, and the marks of bowstrings on their forearms, Jarasandha could tell that his guests were of the royal order. He began to think he had seen them somewhere before. Jarasandha thought, these are surely members of the royal order, dressed as brahmanas, but still I must grant their request for charity, even if they beg me for my own body." So just to kind of catch everyone up to speed, in this verse, King Yudhishthira wants to perform this Rajasuya sacrifice, which is a big deal. This is a big sacrifice. And the reason he's doing it is to glorify the Lord and to show everybody what can happen if you glorify the Lord, if you take shelter of the Lord, and what happens if you don't take shelter of the Lord. And King Yudhishthira tells Krishna his idea, and he thinks it's a great idea. But in order to perform the sacrifice, he has to conquer all directions. So he sends out his brothers to, north, south, east, west, conquer the kingdoms. But, and everybody, actually, let me just read in one section from Krishna book here that kind of explains this whole conquering thing. It may be noted that by dispatching his younger brothers to conquer in different directions, King Yudhishthira did not actually intend that they declare war upon the kings. Actually, the brothers started for different directions to inform the respective kings about King Yudhishthira's intention to perform the Rajasuya sacrifice. The kings were thus informed that they were required to pay taxes for the execution of the sacrifice. This payment of taxes to Emperor Yudhishthira meant that the king accepted subjugation before him. In case of a king's refusal to act accordingly, there was certainly a fight. Thus, by their influence and strength, the brothers conquered all the kings in different directions, and they were able to bring in sufficient taxes and presentations, which they brought before King Yudhishthira. King Yudhishthira was very anxious, however, when he heard that King Jarasandha of Magadha did not accept his sovereignty. Seeing King Yudhishthira's anxiety, Lord Krishna informed him of the plan explained by Uddhava for conquering King Jarasandha. So then Bhima, Sena, Arjuna, and Lord Krishna, hearing, that Jarasandha will not cooperate in order to perform the sacrifice, they go in the disguise of brahmanas to beg charity, beg some sort of alms. And then when they get there, as we see in this verse, Jarasandha he has some sort of piety in there. He respects them as brahmanas and is inquiring to what they want. But as he's looking at these brahmanas, he's starting to see that, oh, wait a minute, these guys are, they're built, they got big muscles, they're huge, and they got these marks on their arms from shooting the bow and arrow all the time, which Brahmanas don't tend to do, and Brahmanas don't tend to be like huge, bulky, fighter-looking, men. So Jarasandha is, in these verses today, he's thinking, okay, something's up. Maybe these are people in disguise as Brahmanas, and he's also thinking, well, wait a minute, I kind of recognize these people from somewhere. And in one of these purports, it's saying that maybe he recognizes them from a Swayamvara ceremony. But he also doesn't recognize that he's fought with Krishna and some of these personalities so many times. And then, as we'll see as the chapter progresses, Krishna and his friends will reveal themselves, and a fight will ensue, and the destruction of Jarasandha will be imminent. And just thinking about this verse, I was just thinking about my own mind, and just the mind in general, how the mind always wants to do something else, wants to avoid pain, seeks pleasure in whatever that is. And Srila Prabhupada has come to the West to try to trick our minds into becoming Krishna conscious, if you will. And I was just kind of pondering on that idea of trying to coax the mind into being Krishna conscious, trying to spark the mind into being Krishna conscious. And I was listening to Leela Shakti's class yesterday, and it was really spot on. It was on fire. Srila Prabhupada has been so merciful to give us access to the holy names and to the Srimad Bhagavatam. And in so doing, we should be grateful and propagate his mission and go out and do that to others. This morning, a lot of my realizations and stuff will come while I'm in the shower or getting ready, panicking for class. And I was just thinking today, I'm so stressed out about giving class on Srimad Bhagavatam. What a boon, that's such mercy to be able to read the Srimad Bhagavatam, and to be able to have the opportunity to study it and to share it with others, share whatever realizations I have. That is beyond mercy, And I was in the shower thinking, where would I be if I hadn't just been suffering like so many other people, like everyone in the world is suffering, and that one day suffering, walking down the street, oh man, I might have even been crying in my head. I was suffering so much. And then I just see this Harinam party on the corner. I don't know, and they're just jumping up. There's somebody that had one of those big bass drums you see in a marching band, doom, 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 doom. And I was like, whoa, this is awesome, this is far out. And I was with somebody that was totally not into it, totally turned off. And I was like, I'm going to just go across the street for a minute and see what this is about. And then some devotee, he stopped jumping and noticed me and came over and gave me the little Sunday feast card that I still keep with me, It's in pristine condition. And then after that, I didn't connect with the devotees immediately, but it stuck with me. And then I had to go to the library to, what is this Krishna? Looking for books on Krishna. And then eventually I go to the temple, and I connected with somebody who actually sat down with me to study the nectar of instruction. This is real mercy. Prabhupada is giving out extreme mercy. And just recently I went home to visit my family, and I found this Bhagavad Gita that this devotee had given me after I had read the nectar of instruction and completed this homework. He gave me this Bhagavad Gita with this inscription. And it's just amazing to think of this mercy. We have to give it out to others. We have to. And there's just this past weekend, I was like, oh man, hurry now. I'm going to be honest, I didn't want to go, because it's like, you got to put yourself out there. You got to take yourself out of your normal routine, put yourself out there, chant Hare Krishna, and see what happens. You don't know what's going to happen. But if you do that, there could be like that one buffoon like me that just is suffering and then takes notice, and then that starts that whole thing. And, it may take years, it may take months, it may even take lifetimes. We have no idea. But Prabhupada's mercy is inconceivable, So really, whatever we can do, Leela Shakti was really hit the nail on the head with the hammer, Whatever we can do, be nice. Just being pleasant when you go out. You don't have to hit everybody with everything all at once, but just even being nice, then people become, oh wow, why is this person always so happy? Why are they smiling? Why are they friendly? What are they about? And she was even saying about tilak. People do that. They'll ask about tilak, or tulsi necklaces. They'll ask about anything. Just be nice, be friendly. And like when I went to visit my family this couple weekends ago, that was kind of my mindset, to be as friendly as possible, to be as merciful as I can be, and bring whatever little prasadam or little trinkets of Krishna consciousness to them. And then if they're inquisitive, they'll inquire. And, it's just the whole, we got to give out the mercy. It's imperative. And this world is on fire. And if we don't give out the mercy, who else is? We got to take charge. And another, so this mercy is inconceivable. The Srimad Bhagavatam, when first getting into Krishna consciousness and learning about Srila Prabhupada and Srimad Bhagavatam, everybody is always like, oh, the Srimad Bhagavatam is so great, it's non-different than Krishna. But once you really try to purify yourself and chant Hare Krishna and then start reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, this stuff is the juiciest thing. I was reading the 11th canto, and this chapter is Maharaj Nimi meets the 9 Yogendras. And I could be wrong on the story, but I want to say Vasudev has Narada Muni over, or Narada Muni comes over to visit Vasudev, and he's inquiring from Narada Muni about devotional service. And Narada Muni goes into this story about Maharaj Nimi and the 9 Yogendras. And it's just a fascinating thing about these 9 Yogendras. I don't know the whole story. It's, where they come from. There's more to it. But they're just like these 9 sages, and they're asking them, so this king is asking them about devotion. And there's so many verses, but one verse that stuck out to me here. I'll read the Sanskrit. Shrivan Subhadrani Ratanga Paner Janmani Karmani Chayani Loke Gitani Namani Tad Artakani Gayan Vilajo Vichared Asanga. And this is Canto 11, Chapter 2, Text 39. And it says, an intelligent person who has controlled his mind and conquered fear should give up all attachment to material objects such as wife, family, and nation, and should wander freely without embarrassment, hearing and chanting the holy names of the Lord, the bearer of the chariot wheel. The holy names of Krishna are all auspicious because they describe his transcendental birth and activities, which he performs within this world for the salvation of the conditioned souls. Thus the holy names of the Lord are sung throughout the world. And like this verse is, it's talking about how powerful the holy names are. But particularly what stood out to me was the first part, an intelligent person who has controlled his mind and conquered fear should give up all attachment to material objects such as wife, family, and nation, and should wander freely without embarrassment, hearing and chanting the holy names of the Lord, the bearer of the chariot wheel. Particularly, wandering freely without embarrassment, hearing and chanting. Like going out and trying to be friendly and going out on Harinam, there's a little bit, oh man, I might be embarrassed, but there's nothing to be embarrassed about. You don't have to be ashamed. You don't have to be afraid. You're taking shelter of the Supreme, the absolute truth, the absolute good. The good always conquers the bad. You can't go wrong. So don't be afraid to be friendly, to try and give people Krishna consciousness. Don't force it on people. Just do a little bit. Don't be afraid. That's what really stood out to me in this particular verse. Is the holy names are so powerful. This mercy that's coming from Prabhupada is so powerful that just don't be afraid. Whether it's in a dhoti, in Western clothes, just go out and share the knowledge, share the wisdom, share the joy. There must be some joy in our hearts, or else we wouldn't do that. Do this, A lot of times people will see me and I might be angry or be in a mood, but it's just because I'm going through moods. I'm in this world trying to be Krishna consciousness, and it's the mind and the body and all these things, and it's just, but there's joy there. There's real joy. There's real satisfaction in Krishna consciousness. There's real mercy in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, when I started speaking, I was talking about, like the Jarasandha of the mind, trying to just conquer the mind, just convince the mind, just sometimes even ignoring the mind and just being like, okay, I get it. You have all these issues, but right now we're going to be Krishna conscious because that's our purpose, okay? That's where the real joy is. That's what we're supposed to do, so you can wait a little while. Let me be Krishna conscious. And that's the whole point. Everything comes down to Krishna, being Krishna conscious, doing everything for the pleasure of Krishna, using everything that we're given, all the resources, everything in this material world, all the materials, for Krishna's pleasure. Speaking about Krishna, glorifying Krishna, that will give you the actual pleasure that your soul is craving, that your body is craving, everything is craving. It's just speaking about Krishna, chanting his holy names. Even in this one verse that I was from Canto 11, the holy names of Krishna are all auspicious because they describe his transcendental birth and activities. Everything is in his holy names. We don't even know, it's indescribable. So we should, and again, I'll reiterate yesterday's class, just encouraging everybody not to be down in the dumps in this modern world, to take joy in this process of Krishna consciousness, to be grateful for the mercy that Srila Prabhupada has given us, and to try and give that to others, to try and be merciful to the rest of the world, the fallen conditioned souls, whether they be little bugs or the big bugs in control of the government, or just the average Joe on the street. Did anybody have any comments, questions? That was in Berkeley. And I don't, after I saw that Harinam party, I don't know if I ever saw any of those devotees again. But, just that. Yeah, that's. Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvanda Maravinda Dalaya Taksham Varhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Agom Vikamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalen Priya Priti Manti Vasyan Vipan Vikayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami
Hari Hari Vipale Janamagonainu Hari Janamagonainu Manusha Janamabaya Radha Krishna Nabajiya Namabaya Radha Krishna Nabajiya Janiya Shuniya Bisha Koinu Janiya Shuniya Visha Koinu Golokera Prema Dana Harinama Sankirtana Harinama Sankirtana Atina Janmi Loke Netaya Loke Netaya Samsara Vishanale Divanishi Ajvale Divanishi Ajvale Judai Tena Koinu Paya Brajendra Nandanaye Sachi Sutta Hoilo Se Sachi Sutta Hoilo Se Balarama Hoilo Nitai Balarama Hoilo Nitai Dina Hina Yata Chilo Harinama Udarilo Harinama Udarilo Tara Shakshi Jagai Matai Jagai Matai Aha Prabhu Nanda Sutta Vrishabhanu Sutta Yuta Nanda Sutta Vrishabhanu Sutta Yuta Karuna Koro E Baro Narotama Dasakaya Nataliho Rangapaya Amadasakaya Nataliho Rangapaya Toma Binegea Chea Mara Toma Binegea Chea Mara Manusha Janama Radha Krishna Nabajiya Radha Krishna Nabajiya Janiya Shuniya Bisha Koinu Hari Hari Vipale Janamagonainu Hari Hari Vipale Janamagonainu Mana Goinu Jaya Radha Goloka Nanda Radha Goloka Nanda Radhe Jaya Radha Goloka Nanda Radha Goloka Nanda Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Shri Vrindavan Dham Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Shri Vrindavan Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. O Lord Hari, I have wasted my life. Although I have taken this rare human birth, I have not served Radha and Krishna, and thus I have knowingly drunk poison. The treasure of divine love in Goloka Vrindavan had descended as the congregational chanting of Lord Hari's holy names. Why did my attraction for that chanting never come about? Day and night my heart burns in the fire of the poison of worldliness, and I have not accepted the means for relieving it. Lord Krishna, the son of the king of Braja, became the son of Sachi, and Balaram became Nitai. The holy name delivered all those souls who were lowly and wretched. The two sinners, Jagai and Matai, are evidence of this. O Lord Krishna, son of Nanda, accompanied by the daughter of Vrishabhanu, please be merciful to me now. Narottama Das says, O Lord, please do not push me away from your reddish lotus feet, for who is my beloved except for you? Srila Narottama Das Thakur ki jai. Cheto darpana marjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam Sreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitadinam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipanam Purnam Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Padam Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatra Nitami Amitas Madane Nakala Eta Trijasi Gavagriban Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishinganina Nuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Shahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Va Jagadishakamaye Mama Janmani Janmanishvare Bhavatad Bhaktira Hetuki Twai Ainandan Tanuja Kinkaram Patita Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddho Kripaya Padvanukvantkaja Stita Dusandin Chintanaya Nayanam Varuta pukadam tava bahane magrishati yugayitam nimeshena chakshusha pravishayitam sunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda vidahename Ashri Shava Padamanas Adarshamam Margam Karutuva Yatatata Beliminampato Mat Pranastu Saeva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benedictions to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda in these chants. All your transcendental energies, thank you. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one should chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love from constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? When will the hairs on my body stand on end at the recognition of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly by his embrace. Be broken-hearted by now. He is always me, my anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. Shri Shikshastakam ki jai, Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai. Thank you, Sundari Radha, for dressing Didi so sweetly. Haribol. And Mahamantra and Ishwara Chaitanya for cooking nice offering for their lordships. And please remember tomorrow to try to come out with us and spread the holy names around at